They just called. They will be here shortly here on the farm, and hopefully we'll get some answers. You know, get the farm going in the right direction. Something. That's what I hope. I hope something. So I guess we'll find out here directly. What is going on, y'all? Jason over here at Cog Hill Farm. Hope you guys are having the best day ever today. You can see I'm not, well, I'm actually on the back side. I was gonna say I'm not in the front half of the property, but I'm out here on the back side of our property. This is our wooded or forest area. We actually have 40 acres here. 20 of it is the pasture side of things. 20 of it is what you see here, our forest area. And we love the mix. We love that we have a mix of each. And we love this area back here in the back with the forest because we got the underground spring, which turns into a creek, and we just love how we have the best of both worlds here on our farm. But we do have an issue here with this forest area, and we've talked about it a few times throughout the years since we've owned this property. Matter of fact, Brooke just did a video recently about this too. And that's pretty much that at some point somebody came back here and just clear cutted this 20 acres. Clear cutted it and just left it. They didn't do any type of management. They didn't do any type of replanting or anything like that. They just left it. And so what happened is, I hate to use the word trash because I know everything serves a purpose in this world. But what happened is that since it wasn't managed, that all these non-native species of plant life have just engulfed this forest area. There's so many stuff back here. We got a non-native nandina that's thriving in here. We got several non-native vine species that are just strangling the life out of so many trees here. Then we have, this is one of the biggest ones, this non-native species of tree or shrub or plant here called Chinese privet. And it doesn't look that bad right now because it's wintertime and most of this stuff is deciduous and has dropped its leaves. But this whole area right here, you can see, besides the trees coming up, is basically this non-native, invasive, extremely aggressive plant called Chinese privet that has just engulfed our forest back here. Another thing that has happened is that since there was no management back here, that you have your more mature trees growing, but then you have all these little bitty sapling trees growing up all around it as well, which is not a good thing. It's actually taken away from the more mature trees, and they'll battle each other for light and resources, and it could cause, you know, damage to your forest area as well. So it's just a lot going on back here, and we really didn't have any answers. We really didn't know what to do back here. So we reached out to the Forestry Commission. They're actually coming today to look at our forest area back here and see if they can do anything. These guys typically do controlled burns, and I want them to come back here and look, see if controlled burning will help anything. Can you give us any ideas on what to do? Is there anything that the state may offer? Anything, any advice that we can get, and these guys are willing to help and are going to come later today and hopefully give us some advice. And I know, you know, this 20 acres is not going to magically, you know, in overnight in one day look like what an Alabama forest should look like, where you got big mature trees and your native plants underneath that are growing and thriving, and it's all native. It's what it's supposed to look like here in Alabama, what it looked like in, you know, early 1800s, 1700s and beyond. That's what I want this to look like. I don't want it to look like this overgrown stuff that doesn't belong here in the first place, and that's just taking over and damaging all the native plants. And what that does is that puts a lot of stress on all the natural resources here, including wildlife. Your native wildlife, they're losing the resources that they need to thrive and survive in this area. I'm hoping that I do get some answers and some direction on what we should do, and hopefully we can get a handle on this mess back here. Here. They're here, they're here, they're here, they're here. Oh. All right, y'all. So they just left, and we got good news and we got bad news. That's just not gonna sugarcoat it. That's what we got. And here is what they said. Let me show you right now. Y'all see Holly right here? We're not even to the creek yet. And Holly's in this underground spring right here, which we got all along through here. And you know, in the summertime, you don't see it as bad as you do in the wintertime. And you can see there's the clearing right there. There's the old barn right there. So we're not that far from the clearing spot, which is right there. Really not that far at all. And as soon as you start coming down this hill, I mean, look at this. As soon as you get down here, let me look at this. I mean, we're not even, I mean, it's right here. Look, you can see the wetness. Look at that. That's just pure mud wetness. And y'all know we haven't had that much rain. And you can see it. I mean, that's all mud. So kind of like right around in here. And again, y'all can see there's the clearing right there. That's where it starts. So that's not that far. Not that far. And so I say that to say this, and that is controlled burning in this area is not going to do much good. So we walked the property and all, and pretty much out of the 19 acres, or 20 acres, it's a little over 19, so we're just going to say 20. That makes things easier. He estimated somewhere around burning only 2 acres would actually burn, and he said if that, because it's so wet. That fire's going to come down here and it's going to stop as soon as it hits this wetness down here. And so the other issue is they got to cross the creek some kind of way. So there's the other side over there, and they have to cross the creek because they have to put in fire lanes to burn. So they would put a fire lane on each side of the property. So we got issues with that. We got issues that they can't bring the bulldozer in here and go across the creek and put fire lanes on that side of the creek. And how are they gonna get that bulldozer in this right here? See, he said it's probably gonna get stuck. He said, well, now we can get it out. We're not worried about that, but once we get past this little ways, it becomes pretty messy, especially when you knock off that little bit of topsoil and the weight of that bulldozer. It's gonna get pretty messy in here. So the other bad news is, you know, they said a mulcher would be great, but it's gonna be the same situation. That mulcher is gonna get, and he's not gonna get down in here where it's wet because he's not gonna take a chance on tearing up his mulcher up. So that's the bad news. The good news is they gave us several options and gave us some ideas on things that we could possibly do ourselves. So right off the bat, you know, he said, Jason, this is not gonna, there's no instant answer to what you got here. There's nothing you're gonna do that's gonna be gone overnight. This mess, like you see here, this is going to take time to do. There's no easy answer for it, okay? So he said, I just want you to be aware of that. There's no gonna be snap of the finger and it's gonna be clear. This is all gonna take time to do. But he did give me some options and some things I can do. And one of the ones that just makes perfectly good sense, and pretty much it's the, I'll call it the 50 by 50 rule. He said, mark out 50 foot by 50 foot and work on that 50 foot by 50 foot until you get it like you like it. And then move on to the next 50 foot by 50 foot. And he said, work on that till you get it like you like it. So basically, you know, doing manual labor ourselves and cutting some stuff down. Now we talked about running goats through here, and he said that's an excellent idea. But there's a risk because there could be something possibly poisonous in here that could harm or worse to the goats, and I have to worry about predators. So that would be the other thing, and fencing. Yes, I could put the electric netting in here, but that electric netting is not the best fencing for goats. If you have 5 goats, one will figure out how to get out of it. I mean, it's pretty rough in here. I mean, y'all can see it. I mean, look at this. Look at all this. These vines I don't know what it looks like on camera. I really don't, but these vines have taken over. They killed these trees here. They killed that one big tree right there. And look at, they're climbing all the way up, and they're up here, and then they're about to climb up and get into that big tree up there. And so I think that's what we're going to do. I really do. I think that's what we're leaning towards doing, is just working on a little bit at a time and cutting it down. And if we want to get some of these trees out when we cut them down, or put them in a pile and burn it, we'll do that, or we'll just leave them there and let them rot. One of the two. Also, he said, Jason, he said, honestly, he said, I don't know how comfortable you are, but he said, honestly, the fire's going to stop once it gets down here to this wetness. It's going to stop. You could burn this yourself. He said it would literally take us basically an hour to do all of it. 1 hour. And he gave me a price on it. There's a minimum charge for him to come in here and all that. And he said, honestly, I don't think it would be worth the money for what little bit of work we would do. He said that, you know, you could burn this yourself. And then he told me how to properly do it. And if I had any questions, or if we wanted him to come do it, call him. So did I hear what I want to hear? Yeah, I guess yes and no. I was hoping they could come in and say, hey, look, we can do this, we'll do this. We got a machine to come through here and do this, this, and this, and we can do this, and we'll have you fixed up in a week. You know, that would have been ideal. But that is not what happened. So I did get some great advice and some direction on where we need to go with this property, and that's what we're gonna do. And then of course when Kaden gets well, and maybe I get some more friends over here or something, and have a forest clearing party or something. Who knows? You know, sometimes the answer that you're looking for is just staring at you right there in your face, and you just need to hear it from somebody else. You know, y'all don't tell Brooke, but this might be a good excuse to get a bigger chainsaw. Oh me. You know us guys, you know, we like our toys. You know what I mean? We like our toys. I gotta get y'all some hay soon. Sure do. Hey Matilda. Hey girl. How you doing, baby? See her using her leg? Look at her. Putting weight on. That was I know she's not ever gonna be perfect. And this isn't why I come out here, to see this girl right here. But did y'all see her walk good then? Ain't nothing in there. There's nothing in there. That was good, girl. That was so good. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hey, I was gonna ask, y'all know any buddies that won't jump fencing and possibly not eat anything poisonous, just looking for a job? If y'all do, send me a text. I'll let Peaches know. She knows how to get in touch with me. You don't know anybody, do you, girl? You know anybody? You about the sweetest thing. You about the sweetest thing. Yes, you are. But guess what? I just got a notification that it's here. Come on, Holly, let's go. We gotta go get it. Come on. Come on. There we go. I need a backup driver, okay? Let's go get it. Here it is. There it is, Holly. Thing's heavy. Oh, this is exciting. So most of y'all may have got this figured out what I got here. But this is the 12-volt kit, conversion kit for the tractor. Oh, man, we gotta look at it and see what's in it. Tell you what, they got this thing taped up now. All right, here we go. Got our belt, got our wiring harness, got our new battery cables, got our, oh, that's my distributor tune-up kit because I think my points to condenser are bad. Got our, that's our new mountain brackets for the alternator, or one of them. There's our volt and amp meter, ignition switch. That's some bolts. I bet that goes to the bracket. There's our resistor. That's going to be the alternator right there. This should be, what is this? That's our starter solenoid. And that's going to be our coil. That's going to be our 12-volt coil right here. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. So I will get started on this tomorrow. In the meantime, I got something I got to do today. And before I can start on this, because it's time. I can't wait around on this because I don't want nothing to go down on us. And that is, it is time for maintenance on the new side-by-side and the tractor. Not this tractor, the Kubota tractor. So we got to get that taken care of today too. You know, as I started to change the oil on the side-by-side, and I realized quickly that, you know, it is kind of a pain. I haven't done this one before, but I realized that even though it is a pain, I had to take the battery out. There was panels over everything. Obviously, an engineer or whoever designed this thing does not do maintenance on it themselves. But, you know, there is something about you just get a sense of pride. And I don't know, when you do the maintenance yourself, it's just something to it. I kind of find myself enjoying it. It's almost therapeutic. And when I got through with the side-by-side, I moved on to the tractor. And the tractor, I actually changed several filters. On the side-by-side, it was just time for oil change. But on the tractor, it was an oil change and fuel filter change and air filter change. And, you know, it's just something about it, just out there and hearing the animals. I had my radio going, and I don't know, just everything, just my head clears and I don't think about anything but enjoying working on the equipment. And I know that this day and time, you know, we've kind of lost sense of doing stuff like this ourselves, and I'm just as guilty as the next person. And I do find myself enjoying it a whole lot. So I've kind of made it my goal that I'm going to learn a lot more about this type of work and teach myself on how to do it with the, you know, Granddaddy's tractor and moving forward and just try to do a little more things myself. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and in the meantime, y'all be good.